starts with you, only you. A cosmic dance, the truth so true. From the ether to the earthly plane, all you seek, you can attain. The quantum flow, the light you hold, creates the story that will unfold. Every thought and step you make, the universe is yours to take. It starts with you, the mirror's hue, infinite skies reflecting you. From the void, you birth the light. Through the shadows, your soul takes flight. The winds will shift, its timeless bend. Every cycle begins again. Your energy builds, it flows, it streams, aligning rims, igniting your dream. Each vibration, each sacred sound, a universe moves resound. You are the spark, divine and true, illuminating. It's all you do. Just remember, it starts with you, the mirror's hue, infinite skies reflecting you. From the void, you birth the light. Through the shadows, your soul ignites. The path within, the path divine. Through space, your world aligns. Every rise, every fall, you're connected to it all. It starts with you, the quantum view, manifesting dreams like the morning dew. From the stillness, creation flows. Through the darkness, your spirit knows. It starts with you, only you. Through dimension, through the veil, the sacred truth, and you prevail. Now infinite, clear, and true, this road ahead, it's made for you. It all begins and ends with you. Even the chaos, through the flame, you rise anew, never the same. Every heartbeat, every sign weaves your essence, soaring high. The cosmos bends to your command. Creation blooms within your hand. It starts with you, only you, only you. It starts with you. Welcome in the space, family. Happy Sunday. Come in here. We're going to hold some space tonight. Welcome. Come in and say hello as y'all get in the building. It's Sunday, and we're going to hold some space tonight. Welcome in. Make sure my volume is good. Hello, beautiful people. Come in and say hello. It's been a minute for me, but it's going to be worth it tonight. Let's get these disclosures on the way before I get into the space. Y'all come in and say hello as y'all get in the space. I share my own experiences on my journey to healing. I am a certified life coach, and my mission is simple. It's to restore the knowledge of self rooted in balance, truth, justice, reciprocity, and divine knowing within me. The beautiful thing is you don't have to abandon everything you've been taught to receive what's available. Access is already in you. Now, let me remind you of something powerful. And I quote, the works you see me do, you will also and can also do even greater. So how can we do these works, Ty? By gaining the power within yourself. Because if you don't recognize your responsibility in the process, everything you do is useless. And it is. Dominion without responsibility is wasted. So if it don't apply, let it fly. If some apply and some don't, eat the meat and spit out the bones. If it all applies, eat it all. and apply the knowledge. Get in the building, family. Tonight, the topic is masquerade. And we're going to be unpacking that tonight. But before we do that, of course, I got to set the intentions. It wouldn't be tying in. It wouldn't be, it starts with you if I didn't do that first. So y'all stay with me. So we're going to set these intentions so we can get this topic on the way. And we're going to start by taking a deep breath. As we go on the journey of unfolding, we're going to breathe in through our nose and out through our mouth. And as we go on this journey tonight, we inhale, we welcome the truth. We exhale, we release the weight of yesterday's performance. As I say, me tonight, put yourself in that space. Meet me here in the place behind the costume, behind the mask, where my real name lives. Tonight we lay down those masks, not with shame, with thanks for how it tends to show up and how it protects us, and with love for who we truly are. We choose truth over performance. We choose presence over pretending. We choose to be seen by you, by ourselves, by those who can hold us. Let the mirror reveal what needs to be seen tonight. Not fences, but instructions for love. Give me mercy for the part that hid. Give me courage for the parts that are ready to be known. Give me the wisdom to tell the difference between all of it. May every scar speak as a teacher, every loss return as guidance, every ache become a doorway back to ourselves. I release the agreement that kept me small, that chaos is normal, that pain is our portion, that lack is your plan. We choose order, we choose healing, we choose enough, and align our will with our purpose. Let grace empower that. Let mercy soften it. Let courage reveal. And if I forgot, remind me. I don't have to earn belonging with the costume. I was born belonging. So it starts here inside me. What's mine begins with me, and what's yours begins with you. And under the eyes of my ancestors and my witnesses, I say, and so it is. Oh, Tip, welcome in the space, family. It's been a minute. You know I'm going to come in and hold some beautiful space with you guys tonight. So welcome in for those of you that are new. I am Ty, and I welcome into this space where it starts with you, where there's no shame, blame, or judgment. However, we do hold ourselves and one another accountable. Last 2 weeks ago, I think. Yeah, I'll be slipping sometime, but I'm back on it. I'm going to be back on it. We unpacked the topic of life worth living, and we unpacked what it means to stop surviving and start living. We saw that a life worth living is not about dodging death. It's about choosing life. It's about embracing mercy and grace and dominion. The mercy softens, and judgment shows up in that. Grace empowers choice. Dominion aligns with purpose. But I want to pause right there for just a minute, because I didn't quite touch on that enough. When I spoke about mercy, grace, and dominion, mercy is it's not meant to be a permanent thing. So it's not there to stay there. It's not there for us to abuse it. It's a process. Why is mercy, why is it not permanent, Ty? Because mercy is the bridge between the life you've been living and the one you desire. So in other words, mercy is the bridge. Say it like this: mercy is the bridge over your troubled waters. And if you didn't know, and you're new in the space, if it didn't make sense over there, it's gonna make sense over here. So in other words, you know how you hear people say you're not where you used to be, but you're not yet where you're going. That's what I'm talking about tonight. And we're gonna unpack that. So y'all say hello as y'all get in the space. So as I said, mercy is not permanent. It's a temporary gift, a doorway. In layman's terms, think of it as a shadow presenting itself again and again until you finally turn towards it to get to know what it is. Mercy is like being given a second chance. But if that chance is not used for transformation, it becomes stagnation. You get stuck in that loop. This is the refusal of individuation, staying identified with the persona, the mask, instead of the integration of the shadow. You're trying to hold on to something. You're trying to hold on to what you used to do. That's why scripture tells you. And it pairs mercy with repentance and grace. Mercy says you are not condemned, but grace says, now you must change. Now you must be an individual. Now you must individuate towards wholeness. Repentance is not merely regret. It's not. They lied to you when they told you that. But we have to overstand now. Mercy is what shows up to bridge the gap between the two, the space that allows you to grow, expansion. But once you cross the bridge, you don't stay stuck there forever. The goal is to move into something new outside of that circumference of awareness that Ty keep telling you about. But if you stay parked there in mercy, you reduce it to an excuse. And I told you we're getting rid of the goat altogether. And it's another way of avoiding the deeper work. We're just saying words to make ourselves feel better in the moment. But in actuality, we know not what we do or say. But words are powerful. But your actions, your reality don't always line up. And most of us get stuck there, ashamed or pretending the gap isn't real. So we say things like, I'm not what I used to be. And that's true. We change, we grow, we evolve, but there's another side to that. Sometimes we call it growth or change or evolution. What we're calling that is really a mask, a performance, a survival tool. So the real question is, and I'm posing it to you, family, how do you know when you're masquerading? Put it in the chat for me. When you putting on, as I say, Ruby tickle me, when you putting on for your city, how do you know when you're masquerading? Can you identify that in yourself? How do you know when the face you're showing isn't the real you, but you put on a mask? Tonight, that's what we're unpacking. So the topic tonight is masquerade. And I'm going to start here. I'm going to start here tonight. I get so excited when I get on here and I get ahead of myself sometimes. But tonight I'm going to take my time and I give myself permission to do that. The biggest mask that I wore for years was trying to not offend you when I get online and I speak from a place of experience and on my journey. That's been the biggest mask that I've ever had to wear. I thought being peaceful meant, fumbling around to find the right words to say when I get on here and I share with you. I thought being kind meant I had to shrink. I thought love meant losing myself so others could be comfortable. But here's what I learned. That mask will slowly smother you. That mask was smothering me. When I became enlightened, when I became to know and get knowledge of myself, when truth started to waken up within me, all I wanted to do was make sure that you didn't get duped the same way that I was. That was the goal. Pooh, get on there and tell them about what's showing up, because you don't want them to be lost like you were. Because I remember praying. I wish somebody else would have taken the time to show me what I'm trying to show other people. Like that. That's how it was showing up. I wish somebody would have told me what was really going on. So I started studying. Started to question everything I was taught. And if it didn't make sense or it didn't connect, that wasn't it. It didn't hit home for me. I tried to disprove the very thing. And now I share that I'm sharing with you. I try to disprove all those things. I spent so much time digging in my bag saying, how can I make this make sense to what I already was taught. And in my failure to disprove it, I found out even more truth. That's how I realized that we've been duped, conditioned, programmed to wear these masks we didn't even know we had. So I spent years and years trying to figure out how to tell you what I learned. I spent years trying to warn you about the wolves in sheep clothing, trying to make it palatable, trying to make sure that I wouldn't offend anybody. Welcome in, family. Trying to keep the peace, trying to sound safe. Guess what? It didn't work. Even then, people still found a reason to react. They still found a way to find something to condemn about what I was saying. And I was still over here trying to figure out why I was still dying inside. Let me tell y'all something. I know I've said this before many years ago, but I have eczema, and that mask don't work well with skin issues. Let me tell you, that's how it's deeper than physical. That mask that I was wearing was killing my eczema. And some of you are breaking out spiritually, allergic to the pretending, spiritually itching for the truth. But your pride keeps you reaching for the concealer to cover it up. And God told me to tell you tonight that you are getting gaffled by these false prophets. Yes, I said it and I stand on it. Ty, how do you have the audacity to tell me what God said? I don't believe you. I think you're lying. Well, let's take a look-see, shall we? Yes, we shall. I give us permission tonight. Thank you, Ty. I'm all ears tonight. Matter of fact, how do you have so much audacity to call me a liar? When your own good book doesn't warn you about me, how dare you? It warns you about you and them. Who is them, Ty? Let's unpack that. The prophets are prophesying lies in my name. I did not send them, nor command them, nor speak to them. Who is them, Ty? I've tried over and over again to explain this to us. Number one, that it didn't happen. And number two, that the message was talking to them at that time. But since we insist on it applying to us, cool. I was talking to you. So let me give it to you as such. But let me break this down like they won't do for you. So according to the text, God was calling out people who were speaking in his name, but from their own imagination. They weren't sent. They were self-appointed. And if that doesn't sound familiar, it should. It's talking about those of you that are telling the story, how you ran from it all your life. And something happened to you one day, and all of a sudden you knew. Not you came on your own free accord. So who was they talking about? The pastors, prophet, and I'm going to call y'all influencers moving forward. Family, these people are not hearing from God. They're branding their opinions and calling it revelation. They're not shepherding souls. They're selling spirituality, and you are falling for it. And Jeremiah was warning you about that. That these are the modern false prophets, polished. They're public, they're popular, they're preaching comfort while the people starve for conviction. And just like Judah, the church today doesn't want repentance. It wants reassurance. Quote unquote, I didn't send them. I didn't command them. I didn't speak to them. So don't get it twisted. The mask may look holy, but the motives are hollow. And God told me to tell you that you're falling for it. The same spirit that Jeremiah confronted then is the one dressed up in your pulpits now. And if that makes you uncomfortable, good. It should make us uncomfortable because truth doesn't comfort the counterfeit. So when Jeremiah said the prophets and the prophesy, they are prophesizing lies in my name. That don't sound like Ty. And it don't. You say I'm not telling the truth. I say prove it. So to the so-called believers tonight, I have news for you. If you weren't aware, you are the ones that are the non-believers. Why you say that, Ty? Number one, God is in love with the backslider. And moving forward, let's get something. I want to make something very clear and I want to set the record straight. You are the non-believer and I'm the righteous. And I know you asking, what's the difference? The lukewarm, that's the backslider. They still belong to God. They just done lost their direction. God told you that, Pooh? Yes, and it did. God told me to tell them, and I came bearing message tonight. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong, but I'm going to prove you wrong tonight. I know God didn't tell you to tell me or tell nobody else nothing, and we're going to unpack that. And now, keep in mind, I'm not talking about no sky daddy, but the non-believer. Come on, Ty. The non-believer. Let me explain to you what you are. That's the one sitting in church pretending. That's the one worshiping images, not truth. Y'all go sit in service and watch the very words that I speak manifest right before your eyes. Watch it. Pay attention. Write it down. Take a note of it. These very things that I'm going to talk about tonight, you're going to see it manifest right before your eyes. Should I call myself a prophet? No, because then I'll be a liar. God told me to tell y'all. And you're still going to deny it when you see it right before your eyes. And this is why you are a non-believer. Now listen. Scripture tells me about you. You want to know what it says? I got you, sis. It tells me, Ty, you'll know the tree by the fruit that it bears. Not only that, whosoever abideth in him sinneth not. Whosoever abideth in him sinneth not. Whosoever sinneth hath not seen him, neither known him. Little children, let no man deceive you. He that doeth righteousness is righteous. Come on, Ty. Even as he is righteous. He that committed sin is of the devil. So y'all out here saying, I sin and I fall short. Lies, you are of the devil. That's scripture. For the devil sinned from the beginning. For this his purpose of the Son of God would manifest that he might destroy the works of the devil. Whosoever is born of God doeth not commit a sin. Y'all gonna be convicted. You should be convicted after this. Because he was born of God. Let me read that one more time. Whosoever is born of God do not commit sin. For his seed remaineth in him, and he cannot sin. Because he is born of God. And in this children of God are manifest. And the children of the devil, whosoever doeth not righteousness is not of God, neither he that loveth not his brother. How you gonna make an excuse about that? So what you saying now? You gonna move the goalposts? I bet. Come from amongst them, I hear you saying. You are the non-believer according to your book. These are the books you asked me for, and I'm giving them to you. Now, don't get it twisted. I got empathy for some of you. And I do. I do. Let me tell you the ones I got empathy for. It's not many, but let me tell you. I have empathy. But the empathy that I do have is recognizing your pastors, and they weren't always this way. Somewhere down the line, they went astray. Somewhere they got lost. And what we see now, these false prophets and people who's forgotten who they are. But tonight I'm here to remind you. I'm here to give us a reminder. Let's pull these masks off. Topic, the masquerade. But watch this. I'm not talking about what their nose looks like, what their facial features or their body structure is. I'm talking about what lies underneath metaphysically. And I know y'all don't like that word. And I know y'all get sick of me saying, but I say it anyway because I mean it, and I say it with my chest. But spiritually and psychologically, we're going deeper than physical appearances. We want to deal with what lies beneath that false prophet. Because the prophet is the mask and the false is the person. Makai says her prophet tells fortunes for money. 2 Corinthians says, we are not like so many peddlers of God word for profit. So what is the mask, Ty? Because I don't get what you're saying. The mask is the act, the performance that you put on. So what you have are fake men and women wearing the mask of prophet, but the text warns you about that. God has become a brand. Y'all ain't ministers, you're marketers. You're marketing a brand. And your gospel has become content. And some of you are wearing the prophet mask over the Antichrist spirit. And I'm talking about the man and woman who shout hallelujah on Sunday, but hide their sexual addictions on Monday. The ones who post Bible verses online, but manipulate people behind the scenes. Don't play, because I got receipts. And you know Ty don't care about revealing receipts. And I'm talking about people who reject truth, but it doesn't come with the crowd. Because it doesn't come with money, because it doesn't come with validation. So tonight, I'm highlighting the mask so that you can identify it. The man of God mask. That's what I'm going to call it tonight. But underneath, you'll find the childhood wounds, the narcissism, the fear, the anxious attachments. Everything we unpack when we say it starts with you. So come, let's have the conversation. Let's argue the truth. Christians, show up. You're supposed to defend. Christians, you are the non-believers. You're walking around with the Bible perpetrating, but the righteous, the awakened, we know it better than you could ever. And why are you okay with that? I'm going to tell you straight up, I would not be okay with that. I would show up and defend. So go call your favorite preacher, your prophet, and bring them in. I invite them. And let them know the truth doesn't fear the conversation. Truth invites it. This is how you're going to tell the real between the fake. Why would we do that, Ty? Because one of the books that you asked me for, I'm giving it to you. And in that book, it says, beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from God. So it's testing season. It's testing season. And this is how you're going to test it. I invite you into the space to debunk it with what I'm saying. Anything that I'm saying with verified information. But why are you going to go get past them? Let me hit my favorite part real quick. I kind of get carried away sometimes when I get in here and hold space with you. I'm going to hit the definitions, my favorite part, so we can unpack this. Topic tonight, masquerade. Hold on. Can't lose my music. Give me a minute. I'm getting to it. All right, recharge. Masquerade, a masked festival. Masca, mask, specter, even witch. And I'm talking about WITCH, the one with the broom. So when y'all are dressing up those holy masquerade balls in church, know where it comes from. Now here's the tension, Christians, non-believers. You are quick to condemn other people's masks, but blind to the ones you wear yourself. From the very beginning, the word carried two energies: play and creativity on one side, and danger and concealment on the other. That's a duality of being human, two sides. We're split creatures. We long for truth, but in some cases are terrified. The masquerade didn't just start last week or last year. It started when you were a child. The child comes into the world raw and curious and honest and unfiltered. And if they're hungry, they cry. If they're joyful, they laugh. If they're curious, they ask a million questions. But then when something starts to happen, little by little, the world teaches what's acceptable. If you cry too much, stop crying or I'll give you something to cry about. Ask too many questions. Don't ask so many questions. You can't question God. You shine too bright. You need to turn that thing down because you're too bright. And now I need shades. And so the beginning of the mask shows up, not just costumes, but personas. The role you construct to survive, to belong, to be loved, to get through the experience. Sometimes the mask is useful. It helps to navigate. But here's the danger. The moment you put it consciously, you put it on, you know you're pretending. But if you wear it too long, you start to mistake the performance for the person. You begin to believe the lie that you're telling yourself. That's when the tool turns into a tyrant. That's when the mask owns you. You put the costume to survive the night, but forget to take it off in the morning. And the masquerade isn't out there always. It's in here. And it doesn't just hide from others, it blinds you from yourself. But Paul gives you instruction on how to regain hope in your situation. Now I'm talking allegorically because even if it didn't really literally happen, the message still reigns true. It says, take off the old self with its lies and put on the new self in Christ. Now I know y'all gonna want to spin that, but remember harmonetics. That's not behavior management, that's transformation. Here's where a lot of pastors and prophets get this wrong. They stop just at the physical. They make it about appearance. That's what I call mask maintenance. What is mask maintenance, Ty? I'm glad you asked. Mask maintenance is when you keep your image polished, but your soul is neglected. It's when you say, as long as I look good and holy on the outside, I'm fine. No, you're not fine. You're surviving. You're not transforming. You are mask maintaining when you should be renewing your mind. And you're supposed to be transformed by the renewing of the mind. And you can't do that if you just clean on the outside and damaged on the inside. We would call that back in the day, and y'all may call it that today, a lemon. Mass maintenance says, just act right, hold it together, and pretend you're okay. But one day we'll get caught up, and we're going to touch that in 1 minute. Tonight is the night we need to be paying attention, because y'all allowing people to dupe you and take you on these journeys. One day, no more crying. But you got to wait for that. One day, every day will be Sunday, but we got to wait for that. But the mind renewal says, today I'm taking off the mask. Today I'm facing myself. Today I'm being made new. And it's sad. I said I was going to give this to you. I'm going to be caught up. But I have to be real for a minute. Let me say this. I just want to remind us a couple weeks ago, almost a month ago now, a couple weeks ago, that there was not, I repeat, not going to be a rapture. I said that. Simatawi for years have been putting y'all on, and we still sit up here and let these people play in our face. How they play in our face, Ty? And again on the September the 23rd, and again on October the 8th, which both of those days have now passed. Evidently, we were supposed to have a rapture. And I want to share this video with you. I'm going to put it on the screen. I'm going to show you a couple little videos and snippets of it so we can see and we can unpack how these people are playing in our faces, and y'all allowing them, and y'all gonna set up here and let me play it. Hold on. Let me get this video together. Let's go back to that. We got to play this. Hold on. I got you. It timed out on me, so. Make sure my volume is working. Make sure y'all can hear it. Come in, family. Hold space with this. I'm going to share this with y'all. I want to make sure we're paying attention to what's happening right in front of our face, and we sit up here and deny it. I had to restart my computer, so I lost the video. So here we go. I hope y'all can hear it. Don't tell me y'all can't hear it. Somebody put in the comments if you can hear it. You know what? Tell you what. We gonna do. I got something for that. Let me stop sharing this. There's more than one way to skin a cat. Hold on. See if I can do it this way. If it don't let me do it, that's okay. I can post it later so y'all will see it, but that's okay. Give me a minute. Let me turn this Bluetooth off and let me see if I can get it live here. Okay, thank you, Mookie. At least you told me. I'm gonna see if I can play it like and we can see if I can put it up to my mic and then y'all can hear it. How about that? Jesus appears. Same thing. Yeah. You guys are sitting next to me. He appears in front of you in a white robe. Looking at him, and he says these words. From the time can you hear it move? Israel became a nation in 1948, there will be 77 years to the Exodus. Now, what's the Exodus that he was talking about? Remember, I'm not dreaming. I'm looking at him as he's talking. Without his mouth open, he says to me, on the 23rd and the 24th of September, 20. A little. Let's see. So basically, y'all go and look it up. I'm gonna post it in the chat so y'all can go and look it up. I'm gonna put the link there. Y'all can go and look it up. And that way you'll be able to verify what I'm saying. Try putting it to the computer speaker. But the computer speaker is in my ear, babe. It's in my ear. Let me see. Let me see. Maybe I can take this off. Let's do that. Let me disconnect that speaker from my. Let me see if that'll work. Let me change my audio. Listen, let me tell y'all. Let me tell you something. This might work now. Let's play it again. Let me try. Let me see. It's not playing him though. It's not playing him. Let me do one thing. Welcome in, family. Maybe I could get my sound on my. I don't want to mess up my mics. I'm going to leave it alone because I think it's going to mess up my mic if I change it in my settings. Yeah, it's still coming through my headset. I'll share it in the comments. I guess my other video ain't gonna work either then. That sucks. But anyway, I'm gonna get back to the topic since I can't let it play there. Let me try my other one. Maybe this one's better. Because I need this other video to play for sure. Welcome in the space, family. I'm trying to get it together so I can show you this video that I needed to show. And I had one of the ones I need to really show. And when I get to it, it'll be ready. Okay, so that one's ready. But I'll just give you a synopsis of what old boy was talking about in his video. Oh, that one's louder. But I'll give it to you. Let me just give you the synopsis. I won't be on here for no 3 hours tonight. So in other words, he told y'all that he was 1,000,000% sure that the rapture was going to happen on the 23rd. And when the 23rd came and went, he said it was the 24th. And then after that came and went, he then said it was October the 8th. And that's Lil Rodney's birthday. We celebrated his birthday the other day. And that's been, 4 days ago. And we don't set up here and let this doggone man tell you that, there's a rapture coming. Y'all done sold y'all belongings, got rid of your stuff, and you out here looking silly. This is the exact reason why you have to read the text for yourself. You're being misled and you don't even know it, don't even recognize it. And I want to explore this for a minute before I get back on track. How you not off track? I recognize that. But you have my permission so we can get some context, because even though the text wasn't talking to you and it was an allegory, he was talking to the people at that time in the story about the process of what happens, not just on a physical level, on a metaphysical level. Before things would come to pass, So I'm going to explore that with you real quick. Let me walk us down this thing so we can gain understanding. If you're gonna live by it, you should really live by it and know what it says. The word rapture. I can share this. Let me share this. And I can. Let me put that over here because we have to understand that we can't be letting these people lead us astray so easily. Let me wait till they get up on the screen. It's up there, Ty. All right, let me show y'all something. I'm a visual person, so I'm going to show you visually. I don't want at any point anyone to just take my word for anything. Okay? So we're going to actually do a little bit of school class work today. Okay? Let me get back on that screen. Here we go. So let's do this. I think that's how you spell it. Take a look at that. I'm going to let that marinate so y'all can screenshot it. And I'm going to highlight it for you here in just a moment. Ooh. See there? Did I type it right? Rapture. No results. There's nothing in your biblical text that says rapture. So where did this idea come from? And the idea was, it was an important theory. They added that. Somebody named John Nelson Darby gave that to you in the 1800s. Go and look it up. It came out of a European teaching, a modern idea. But y'all go and act like it's been in there since Genesis, since the inception. The people of Jesus' time in the story, they missed these signs because they were wearing the mask of traditions. They expected Elijah one way, but he came as John the Baptist. I'm walking you through. They expected a warrior Messiah, but got a suffering servant. The warning for us was, if you cling to your persona, your religious mask, your cultural mask, your survival mask, you'll miss the deeper shift that's happening right in front of your face. Ty, that's a lot, because I wasn't aware that rapture wasn't in the Bible. The pastor told me I was going to be caught up. Let me put you on game with the story. And I want you to peep this story and screenshot this and go and ask questions about it. Pastor Prophet, you said there was going to be a rapture. The man told me September 23rd. It didn't happen then, but it's supposed to happen one day. Pay attention. Take notes if you need to. After this transfiguration, let me take this off the screen. I gave it enough time. Screenshot it. See right here? No results. None. Let me take that off your screen. I need to be big when I say this. I'm going to put y'all on game on how the story really went. The disciples came down from the mountain with Jesus, asking all kinds of questions, because the Pharisees and the scribes had planted seeds of doubt to the disciples about this prophetic prophecy. So they started asking Jesus, why you keep talking about, quote unquote, I'm gonna say it in y'all words, rapture, that ain't in the Bible. Keep in mind, again, the word is nowhere in the text. I just showed it to you. They made it up. But anyway, keep going, Ty. Gotcha. Because we are learning something right now. But the disciples said, Jesus, the scribes say Elijah has to come first, the rapture. So why are you giving us this? Why are you telling us all these things? And Jesus said, Elijah already has come, but y'all didn't recognize him. Have you all ever asked yourself why they couldn't recognize him? When they give y'all this story, let me back up because they may not have given it to you. But anyway, let me put you on. Because the prophet Malachi gave the signs that they would see at the time. Elijah would come before the day of the Lord, and he would turn hearts, and the scribes repeated it. So Jesus said they did him dirty, just like they'll do me. That's when they realized that he was talking about John the Baptist. It don't say that, Ty. Since I still got it up, let me pull it back up. I prematurely took it down. Let me pull it up. Hold on. Since we visual, let me where I put it at? Did I close it? Hold on. No worries. I can make another one. Okay, give me a second. Don't worry, I got you, sweetheart. I got you, sis. And we taking our time. All right, there we go. There's our screen, and we're gonna put it back up on the screen here. All right, let's put that back on the screen. I want y'all to see this again. Wait until it shows up there. So I want y'all to say tie line. Let me pull it up for you. And we'll give it time to catch up just a little bit. Welcome in, family. Happy Sunday. We're having a little study tonight. So we can study and show ourselves approved, right? Yes, I love this for us. All right, there we go. Let's make it bigger so y'all can see it. So we're going to start at 10. It says, and his disciples asked him, saying, when then the scribes that Elijah must first come? And Jesus answered and said unto them, and we know it was Jesus because the writing is in red. Elijah truly shall first come and restore all things. Not a rapture, restore. Restore means to bring back into existence, use, or the original state. So it's not about fixing it. It's about returning something to what it was intended to be. This is why Ty always talks about the origin. Let's go back to what it was intended to be, the way it was that it was in the inception of it. Because it wasn't the way it was intended. So your restoration, the way that you're intended to see it. Did I not say that ye are gods? The way that you were intended to see it. Come on here, Ty. That's T. You teaching tonight, Ty. I know it. Restoration, but keep going. But rapture and its origin, I got to take y'all back to the origin of these words because these are the words y'all given. We'll be caught up and raptured. And the word rapture at its origin means seized, snatched, or carried off. It doesn't mean that you'll be caught up. That was a fabrication. So if we understand what these words mean, we can then understand that this is not about physically being taken off somewhere. Even if you were to use this word that way, we're going to keep it moving. But I'm going to show you what it's supposed to be because I'm not finished. What else does it say? What does Jesus say? And we know it was Jesus again because it's in red. And we also know it wasn't really, and it didn't really. Never mind. Ty, you already said it didn't really happen. So, but let's keep going. But I say unto you that Elijah is come already, and they knew him not, but have done unto him whatsoever they listed. Hold on, I gotta get my screen back right. And get myself back together. Let me get myself together here. Likewise shall he also do the Son of Man that suffered of them. He was putting them on that they killed Elijah, aka John the Baptist, just like they were gonna kill him. That's not what it says. Hold your horses. Yes, it does. Let me give it to you. Let me repeat it. Let me go. Then the disciples understood that he spake unto them of John the Baptist. Ty don't have to lie. This is y'all books. First of all, that sounds like reincarnation, but I digress. And that's a story for another time. Did I unpack reincarnation before? I don't think so. Maybe I'll do that for another teacher. And I'm still not off topic because I'm still talking about masquerades. And I'm talking about masquerade and how that shows up in your life. What we fail to realize is even in that story, it doesn't speak about no rapture. It doesn't speak about that. But what it does say that there is going to be exposure, restoration. Those false things that you're seeing will be turned down. They will be torn down. The truth will be revealed, and those masks are going to be stripped away. There was a process that happened before the event. To every cause, there's an effect. That's universal law. Family, please understand, even at that time, there were signs before the event. Rue would say. Rue would say there was advertisement before the event. Well, Ty, since you and Rue know everything, what were these signs? First of all, don't do me. Second of all, I told you what the signs were, but because I read, and I do. And for the record, I don't claim to know everything, but what I do know is in these books that y'all keep asking me for at that time, what the advertisement said it was, John would come, still on your screen, the temple would fall, the gospel would be global, the earthquake would hit, there would be a famine, and every advertisement that was on the billboard, they missed it because they wore a mask and they couldn't see it. That's what the mask does. It blinds you to things that are so apparent and obvious. So they couldn't recognize what was happening right before their eyes. And that's still the danger right now today. You'll miss the truth, not because it wasn't there, but because you couldn't see it. Because it came to you as Ty telling you what God told her, and you just can't believe that Ty could tell you something that would be beneficial because they done told you to come from amongst them. And you miss it because you're in your own periphery of your own mask. You got tunnel vision. Come on here, Ty. So when you're out here looking for this physical rapture, you're selling your shit, you're giving away your belongings, and now you're sick. Just like the people missed John the Baptist while they was waiting on Elijah. You're waiting, you're wearing these masks, you're inheriting from traditions instead of looking at what the text actually says. What does the text say, Ty? Let me get this off y'all's screen. I want to be big when I say that. What does the text actually say, Ty? And we're still making good time. God told me to tell you that you're being misled. Thank you, Mookie. We're going to get this video thing figured out next time. I guarantee you when I got a video, it's going to pull up like I needed to pull up. But God told me to tell you that you are being misled and you are ignoring the metaphysical shift that's already happening. People are waking up. I've never seen so much exposure as that I see today, and they are laughing at you. Family, you have to stop putting these human characteristics on Jesus, because if you don't, you will miss Elijah. Now I'm using that metaphysical word because when you understand things from a metaphysical level, it starts making sense. But you're out here following leaders who don't even know the text themselves. And because they are lost, they can't soothe you. And again, no word rapture is in the biblical text, but they still get up there and preach it from Sunday. I don't know if they preach it from Sunday to Sunday, but you done heard them say it. And you're out here waiting on a physical escape. This is not a physical shift. This is an eternal and a spiritual shift. We've entered the age of Aquarius, a time of truth being revealed. In the text, Jesus warned you about awareness in allegory. Where is it at, Ty? You know I'm gonna give it to you. Let me gloss up real quick. I need a lip so he's shining. I need them to be. I need them lips to be living. I need them things to be dang. He said, take heed that no one deceives you. Many will come in my name. It don't say anything about that, Ty. Should I put it back up there? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, let's do it. Because I admit I'm a visual person too. So sometimes it takes me to get to see something. So yeah, let's go and put it back up there. Let me see. Let me just flip it out. Since we're already in Matthew, let me pull this up. Because I don't want y'all to think that Ty makes up anything. And Jesus answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceives you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. They don't say nothing about Ty. I ain't told y'all I was coming in that name. It's warning you about these people coming in his name. It's warning you about pastor. It's warning you about the prophet, and the prophet is the evangelist. He's saying he wasn't saying run to the hills for a secret rapture. He was saying be awake, be discerning, watch for the signs of the people saying Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. For the ones laying hands on people, healing in his name. Signs weren't about being lifted out of your clothes. They were about shifting power, truth, and deception. Hearts being revealed of these people that are coming to deceive many. That means pay attention to the wolves in the sheep clothing. What their inner motives are, what their intentions, their loyalty, and their desires that you will not see. It's telling you to pay attention to their hearts being revealed. And that means the mask comes off and the real motives come to the surface. You can't argue with me because I see what's happening. for these pastors and prophets today. And it's a reminder, and it's showing up in me that God is not impressed by the performance because I see right through it. This is why he warns you that he will say, I know you not, because you done perpetrated and put on this fraud and put on for your city. Age of Aquarius is not about what they gave you to deceive you. I am Christ, not wanting to be Christ. Jesus is not Christ. They are now one, and they are, I'm guessing you said not one and the same. I understand that move. I understand that we unpacked that before. And I caught it right on time as you put it in there. Jesus and Christ is not one and the same. Christ is the consciousness. Thank you for sharing that, brother. I told you I was going to be more cognizant of watching them, so I know what you talked about when you put it in there. Don't go too far. Christ is not his last name. It's not what we think. It's not what they made it out to be. It's about these masks coming off and the system showing the cracks. See, this is what I'm telling you. Don't get hung up on the picture. It says the rocks, I remember it said something about the rocks would cry out. And it doesn't mean that literally rocks will suddenly start shouting in the streets. They are not one and the same. They are not, Mookie. They're not. Would you have a better way of saying it? Jesus is the man and Christ is the consciousness. Would you say it some other way? Just like I'm not this physical body and I can access my Christ. I can access enlightenment. I can access the things that are higher vibrational. I'm gonna wait for you to reply so I don't get this. I don't forget where I was at. See, this is what I'm talking about. It's a symbol. It means the very structure of creation will begin to testify. So they ain't out there with no rocks with no mouths. Because the truth doesn't need permission to reveal itself. You said it right. All right, then, said doctor. Even the foundations, the things that you thought were still and safe will start they will start vibrating with exposure. That's what this moment in history really is. Not an age of rebellion. Some gonna rebel, but an age of revelation. The age of Aquarius isn't about what they sold you to distract you. It's about exposure, the mask slipping off. The lies that built entire empire are cracking. You can lie to people. You can hide behind pulpits and policies, but you can't lie to creation. You can't lie to yourself. And that's when the kingdom starts to stir. Not the kingdom you were told to wait for, but the one that's within you. And that's where the tension lives, doesn't it? Because if the kingdom of God is within you, then so is chaos, so is corruption. And that's uncomfortable because it means you can't just point a finger out there. You have to pull off the mask, and I get it. When you start hearing the truth like that, it's easier to label it demonic or to label it the devil than to deal with it. You say shit like it can't be God. But what if the very thing that you're rebuking is what's meant to redeem you? That's the real masquerade. You dressed up in a costume of Bible characters, Moses, David, and Mary and Paul. But you've never faced the mirror of your own transformation. The mask looks holy, but the heart still hiding. And that's the tragedy. We're so busy performing righteousness, we forgot how to be real. That's why they keep trying to reenact the Jews, trying to be Abraham's grandchildren, but ignoring where we really and where we're actually from. Forgetting your origin, tracing someone else's covenant while abandoning your own connection. And that's the pattern. When you take off the mask, you can finally see it. We're not participating. We're not practicing faith anymore. We're practicing imitation. How about this? Start being you. Because tell me how for 30 or 40 years of church, or however many years, 10, 20, whatever your number is, you mean to tell me we're in the same place and we're okay with that? I wasn't. I'm not. So I dare you. I'm going to give y'all a challenge, some homework to say. Take 1 month. If you need to, take 2 and test this theory. I oftentimes hear them say, come as you are. If they say come as you are, really come as you are, if they really mean that, I want to test that theory. And I'm going to give you some instructions. Because we're trying to see what's lying underneath these masks, right? So we're going to test it. Go broke. Come angry. Come naked, not literally, but bring the things that you buried deep inside your closet. Bring the pain, bring the shame. Take in the real you. And when I say come, I don't mean just show up in the building. I mean go. Go to the place inside where you've been pretending. Take that. So stop standing up when the pastor walk in the room. Stop clapping when it's time to sing. Stop faking tongues just because everyone else is doing it. And the key is, if you really have the Holy Ghost, you don't need no mask. Test the theory. See if they really mean it. Stop paying them tithes. And see if this love still lives there. Welcome in, family. Because according to your text, Jesus should be your belonging, communion, tithing, giving. If it's done out of obligation instead of love and a cheerful heart, that's not devotion, that's disguise. You're wearing a mask, sis, brother. And your leaders can't save you. They won't save you. They said it. Because they're too busy toggling titles, prophet on Sunday, pastor on Wednesday, trying to decide which role benefits them the most, and that's how they're going to show up. Prophet means accountability. Pastor means responsibility, and most don't want either. They don't want either. They call you independent contractors one moment and then act like your boss the next. But here's the truth. You are responsible for yourself. Ty is responsible for self. So stop letting people toggle roles just to manipulate your faith or manipulate you. When will enough be enough? Let me give you an example of what a real prophet looked like in allegorical sense. Malachi, he came with the consequences. There wasn't no confusion. He confronted unfaithfulness. He confronted corruption in worship. He confronted injustice and hypocrisy. And he warned them about judgment. Not for missing church, but for missing truth. So your pastor, he's not a prophet because he's not doing any of that. It's a conflict of interest. Take your mask off so you can see it clear. Because if you don't, you'll stay stuck in the repetition of religion, doing the same thing, expecting different results. Every time you silence your truth to fit in, every time you betray yourself to be accepted, a piece of your soul slips further away. You get further away from yourself. You can gain the approval of your job. You can gain the applause of the crowd. But if they've only met your mask, you gained the world's praise and lost your soul in the process. That sounds familiar. That's the masquerade. That's the trade-off of too many of us making, that the too many of you are making without even realizing it. The danger isn't just seeing in the obvious sense. The danger is self-betrayal. The danger is living so long behind the mask that when you finally look in the mirror, you don't even recognize yourself. Not paying attention to the signs is self-betrayal, because it keeps you locked in the mask instead of moving towards the truth. And every ignored sign is telling your soul that I don't trust you. And it keeps you stuck where you are. That mask is survival mode. But signs are mercy, breadcrumbs leading you back to yourself. The betrayal is when you push them aside. Expansion begins to the moment you say, this whisper is enough for me to take the next step. I know it's scary, but let me do a you on you for a second. I'm going to pull a you on you. I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. I had to pull a you on you. Every mask is glued on by fear. Fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of not being good enough. And here's the catch. Fear's habitat, it thrives in the dark. And as long as you keep it hidden, it owns you. But the second you drag it into the light, it loses a grip. That's why Jesus was telling them, do not be afraid, not because fear doesn't exist, but because it doesn't get to rule you. What happened to that? How can you live in truth if you keep performing as someone that you're not? So I got questions. And I do. What does it profit you to be loved for a lie? I know what it profits the prophetess and the prophet. But what does it profit you to be loved for a lie, but never known for the truth of who you are? I'll wait. Put it in the chat. What is it profiting you? What have you gained from that? Dark mic going off. Y'all probably hear me yelling. You weren't born pretending. You were born authentic, unmasked. But over time, that mask started stacking stacking piece by piece. You begin to trade the soul. What does it profit a man to gain the whole world but lose his soul? Let's walk through how that happens. I mean, this is not about other people deceiving you. The most dangerous deception is self-deception. Because you can't project sheep while inside you're still a wolf. And the scariest part, you want to know what that is? The mask doesn't just cover the face, it narrows your vision. It gives you that tunnel vision. Look at how we celebrate. We put on masks with holidays like Christmas and Easter. We dress it up like it's about Jesus. And then Ty got on there and told y'all about them trees that were demonic. And then she told you about the real origin of Easter. And then we got to be honest with ourselves. What do trees and rabbits and eggs? And first off, rabbits don't lay no eggs. What does it have to do with Jesus? I'll answer for you nothing. But yet we play along. We tell ourselves it's for the children. It's for the kids. But if you be real with yourself for once and for all, we're not doing them a service. We're doing them a disservice. We're teaching them how to put on personas. We're teaching them performance over presence. We're handing them a mask. And masks always get heavier over time. A leaking aura doesn't just happen when life hits you. It happens when you keep living fake. When the performance is strong, but the soul is weak, scripture says, guard your heart above all else, for out of it flows the issues of life. How can you guard your heart if you've locked it behind a mask? Poor economics, poor financial literacy. Come on, Mookie. Put all this stank on it. Our performances are just through the roof. This is why he said, if it don't profit you to gain the whole world but lose your soul. We were taught that only meant chasing money, chasing sex and power. And like Moose said, being poor economically and making poor financial decisions. But what if it's not just sinful things? What if that actually means to lose your authenticity? We're going to start thinking over here. What if it means every time you hide behind the mask, you trade your vitality and for your vanity? Sis, brother, let's keep it raw. You look like what you've been through. Stop lying to yourself. I look like what I've been through. And I'm talking about the mask. I know what it's like because I lived it. And when you can't even recognize yourself in the mirror, that mask is talking. That mask is masking. That's your vital body, your aura leaking, damaged, beat up. Your outside starts to manifest what your inside has carried for years, and you become a stranger to yourself. I know what that's like. I lived it. And let me share with you how one of the ways that it showed up. I carried body shame for years, hiding under layers of clothing. Then came the moment that I just felt I wanted to be authentically open, and I wanted to have sex with the lights on. At my big age, no mask, no covering. It was raw, literally. And I was terrified. Something that should be so natural, that should be second nature. I was born in the world with it, my birthday suit. And I was terrified. So what did I do? I ran back to survival mode for a while. And there was no way to live. I was not living because I had this beautiful being inside of me that just wanted to be authentic and share what I had of me. But I wore that mask for so long. And here's what shocked me. Even with my knees shaking, the experience showed me something. What did it show you, Ty? My imagination of where things could go couldn't hold a candle to what was actually possible when I stepped into reality. Here's the secret nobody tells you. On the other side of that mask is where your abundance that they've been preaching about shows up. Every time you peel another layer off, life doesn't just get a little, it doesn't just get a little better, it multiplies, it expands, and it gets better every time. It gets greater than you could have ever imagined. You think you know pleasure now. You think you know abundance now until present shows you the depth you never touched before. You think you know love. And I know they told you love is laying down their life. But wait until that authenticity uncovers a tenderness words can't express. It stops being just physical at that point. It becomes enlightenment. And the things you said you'll never do, you don't have those conditions on it any longer. Every moment is fuller, it's richer, it's drenched in possibilities. You don't just feel good, you feel expanded. And when you're in that state, or when you wear that mask, your imagination has limits. It's finite. But reality, when you stop hiding, is infinite. Go back down that time. I've broken down the difference between what finite and infinite is before. And the more you let go, the higher you go. But the truth is, survival let me look like what I've been through. Not just physically, emotionally. My aura was so beat up, it was tearing down my physical body. And it was my body was testifying against me. And when you can't recognize yourself, some of you I can't even recognize. And I knew you since we were children. And that's a sign that's a signal that something deeper is leaking. So here's my question. How do you guard your heart? You've already like behind a mask because the mask isn't protecting you, it's draining you. So lying to people, telling them gaining the world and losing your soul, that one day you'd wake up in hell because you can't stop sinning. Again, I'm gonna ask you, what if losing your soul isn't about eternity? What if it's happening now? What if every time you silence yourself, you shrink yourself, you hide behind the mask, you're trading another piece of your soul? And a leaking soul looks like an aura looks like soul loss. Your joy draining away. So how can you claim while your joy is draining away that I got joy, unspeakable joy? How? How can you claim this when your authenticity is dimming? Your essence is leaking drop by drop while the mask stays intact perfectly. They're not going to tell you that the danger isn't only seen out there. It's the slow suffocation that's happening on the inside. It's waking up one day with the applause and the title and the image and everything that you think that you could want, everything that you could ask for, but no self left. This is why you see rich people take their lives. People, people with everything, but they're not happy. This is why. Nobody's going to break this down for you like this. Nobody's going to tell you why you got all these things. You got the house, you got the car, you got the woman or the relationship you think you want, and you're still not happy. You still going out there getting other women. You're still going out there doing all these other things. The cost of the mask. I love it over here. Don't get it twisted. This process is not easy. Let me tell you firsthand, the last 5 years of my life have been the hardest years of my life. Peeling back the layers of hurt. When we stop hiding, when I stopped hiding and I started taking accountability and I stopped trying to blame something else. When I started finally looking at myself and I said, no more blaming nobody else. This is me. No more blaming nobody else, Ty. This is you. That's when things started to shift. And I recognized if I was gonna if I was gonna make it through this, I had to take control of my own scars. I had to take control of my own shame, owning my story that my body carried. Because the real price was the good kid mask became the people pleaser adult. The silent mask becomes the adult who can't speak the truth. The toughness mask becomes the adult who can't ask for help. And before you know it, you're not even a person anymore. You're a collection of masks you learn to wear in childhood. You're the applause, you're the job title, the image, but in the process, where is you? Where are you, Ty? That's what happens when the mask becomes the master. So we have to understand how we get here. Because this mask wasn't built overnight. It was built layer by layer, moment by moment. Each time we chose safety over truth. So what does it look like, Ty? I got a good piece of list. I think I'm still on task. I should be able, I'm hoping maybe a little bit over two. Hoping I can get through. But I got a good piece of list. Let me show you the stages because once you see them, you can't unsee it. Stage one, the innocent child, the raw self. We all start unmasked. No filter, no strategy, just being. You are who you are, your original face before the world told you what to accept. Stage one. Stage two, the wound, the breaking innocence. Something cracks, being real stops feeling safe. That's when the fracture begins. When you're told, don't say this, don't do that. That part. So you have to put on for your city. Number three, the first mask starts. The persona, obedience, politeness, being good. I don't say what you think, what you want to say, because you might offend somebody. The mask gets the reward, so it tightens. At first, it protects, but over time, it imprisons you. And now I feel all restrained because I can't say what I really want to say because somebody's feelings gonna get hurt. I can't say what I want to say because it's gonna ruffle some feathers, even though I know it needs to be said. Stage four, layers of the persona, the shadow, the anger you weren't allowed to feel. Now it starts showing up and you jealous and you envious. You're gonna talk about people behind their back because you don't know no other way. The grief you never expressed, the desires you buried, they don't disappear, they go underground. Then you got stage five, integration. How you're coming out of this mask when you recognize who you are, when you start taking accountability for your actions. And it's not perfection. That's when you show yourself that mercy and that grace and that dominion shows up. It helps you get back into alignment. It's when you stop pretending and start being. That's when that's when you finally can guard your heart, for out of it flows the issues of life. Because when your heart is when it's unmasked, you can finally see. You can live whole. And when we don't face what's behind the mask, it doesn't just vanish. The fear we never named, the desire we weren't told was too much, it becomes your shadow. It leaks out through sarcasm, control, and perfectionism, or that quiet, deadly phrase of saying I'm fine. Because what you won't face, you'll act it out. And what you won't heal, you hand down generational curses. Healing starts when you can finally say, yep, that's mine. It's not my father's, it's not my mother, but it's me, oh Lord, without shame. You name it, you feel it, you learn it. That's when the mask starts to lose power. Family, what stage are you in? But we're not stopping there because we got to go deeper. Because some of us don't even realize. I didn't realize that I was living a lie. I know what that looks like. I made choices, but in reality, but really the crowd was already choosing for me. That's where conformity comes in. When we train into a system of the masquerade. And for many of us, the training ground was the church. It's still the church. Think about it. You got your babies on the pews. You got your toddlers in the aisles, learning just not just how to worship, but not just how to do the worship, but how to act it out and how to do it the way everybody else does. And I'll be honest, I never understood it. All these people doing all these things, shouting, falling all on the floor, and it wasn't happening randomly. I remember there was this one lady at my church. We could time when it would happen. Let me not say we, because I don't want to speak for nobody else. I could time when it would happen every Sunday, even when we visited other churches. The music hit, here comes the shout. Preacher get loud, speaking in tongues, even if we didn't know what was happening. Without an interpreter, they would say the spirit is moving. But anyway, she would shout so hard. She would have these convulsions. And it happened so frequently, they started carrying around a spoon with them because they knew when she shouted, it was a matter of time that she would have these convulsions and would, have these seizures. So in efforts to get her not to swallow her tongue, they would carry the spoon around in their purses or in their bags, wherever they were carrying it, they had a spoon handy. This is what they said. I'm not telling no lies. Those of you that know, tell the people if I'm lying, put it in the chat. Chat, put it in the chat. Call me on my shit. And then I later find out while I'm doing my research, because I got to know, like, what was this that was showing up? And it's physically impossible to swallow your tongue. Now, you can block your airway or bite your tongue, but swallow it, lies. Family, imagine being a kid watching grown folks shove a spoon in somebody's mouth and tell that lie. It teaches children not to trust their own instincts. It causes fear and confusion, and it shapes the psyche. To teach them to put a performance on instead of being truthful, it creates a split inside of them. They lose touch with what their real emotions are. And they will put it on, they will put on that mask to feel accepted, to get attention. But the scary part is when enough people call it true, call out and say what it's supposed to say, the crowd goes along with it naturally. And if you don't go along, you get left behind. And right now, today, some of you are doing the same thing. That's how masquerade training can show up. I knew something was wrong with it, but I couldn't put a name on it until a few years ago. And that's the awakening that's happening. That's something in me that knew, that was reminded. Ty, don't you fake that. Don't you dare do that. So I don't have to wonder why the world is the spirit is hitting everybody but me now. I don't have to do that anymore. So you did good not to fake it, Ty. It's okay if you don't fit in with the crowd, Ty. This is why when I used to get condemned about talking about this programming, I felt like I was mocking something. Now I understand I wasn't mocking at all. I was resisting. Something in me didn't belong there. An inner witness that hated pretending, my inner self, that didn't like lying. The part of me that didn't want to co-sign the lying. My nervous system that felt the mismatch between the room and my truth. You can call it Holy Spirit if you want to. You can call it integrity, call it the seed of authenticity, whatever you want to call it. It would not let me masquerade that part of me. And I knew it. If I can't be real here, I can't be real nowhere. So whether you want to admit it or not, you were trained to perform spiritually the same way the world trains people to perform. It's not just the church. You do it in sports. You do it in sports too. The culture does it. Same jersey, same chants, same rituals. Little by little, you learn if you don't do what everybody else is doing, you don't belong. That's the masquerade. That's the conformity. It grabs you without you even knowing. Look, from time you were little, your nervous system makes a very simple calculation. Belonging equals survival. If the group moves and you don't, your body flags that as a problem. The fear system, the dollar kicks in. Be careful. Don't stand out. This is what happens. And it's what's going on behind the scenes. And the pain circuitry, the anterior cingulate, it lights up because social rejection rides the same pathways as physical pain. So when you get rejected, that's why it hurts so bad. Let me tell you a secret. Ladies, when you got that hurt, quote unquote heartbreak, and there felt like a physical pain happening, could nobody tell you it didn't hurt? Your stomach, your head, your heart, your chest. That's what I'm talking about. That's why being left out doesn't just feel bad. It actually hurts. Then you have that coping system that shows up. They call it the mirror neurons. You walk into a room where everybody's standing, shouting, chanting, speaking in tongues. You feel the tug at you to do it too. Welcome in, family. It's as if your brain is saying, do what they do because it's safer. Feels like a choice, but biology is leaning on the scales. Now watch the chemistry. You resist the problem. You go against what they say. That's why the ways of righteousness is narrow. However, the ways of damnation is broad. Come on, move. This is why you're not going to find it with all those people over there, all those prophets and all those prophetess over there with all that gathering and all those followers. It's not going to be over there. Come on, I need to pin that. I can pin that. The ways of righteousness is narrow. I already told y'all I'm one of the righteous. Listen to it if you want to, but I'm telling you, God told me tonight to come and tell you this. Y'all playing. And if you resist that crowd, I'm going to go over it. If you resist the crowd, your cortisol rises, your chest gets tight. You get heated all in your face. That creeping shame, if you go alone, that cortisol drops and you feel a sense of self-relief. You feel relieved. Your brain makes a note. It's I like this. I want to feel more of this. This is what the brain is telling you. I want to feel more of this. This feels better than what I was feeling before. And compliance will give you that feeling. And it happens automatically. And if you repeat that long enough, you have a loop and your body craves it. And there's deeper layers. It's called identity threat. Refusing the script doesn't just challenge the group, it challenges your place in the group. And the brain hates that uncertainty. So it nudges you to go back towards the mask. Go back towards that thing that was giving you the comfort. Go back there to that toxic relationship because it gives you comfort. Go back and scream and put on your Dallas Cowboys jersey because all of them is out there putting on their Cowboys jersey. They were surgical with figuring this out. Family, this is why authenticity feels heavy in a performance room. Your nervous system is literally arguing with your truth to protect your belonging. Have you ever had someone peer pressure or act or try to give you something? They call it peer pressure back in the day. They went on this movement of say no to drugs because they knew. They did a study on this, and we're going to unpack that in a minute. They did a study on this. Is that people want to belong to something even if it's not good for them. So put it bluntly, Ty, I'm gonna unpack it for a minute, and I hope I can show y'all this video. I hope I can. But I got you. I'm gonna put it bluntly. When you don't go along with the program, your body has these alarms that go off, and it panics. You feel that fear, you feel that stress, even pain. Somewhere in you rejects. The rejection still feels like, oh my God, what's gonna happen now? And it's painful. So let me go back to this mask. Let me go back to what feels safe. Let me just do what they do. That safety is a lie. It's an illusion. It buys comfort at the price of your authenticity. You can't be who you truly are. Every part of me, body and mind, had been trained to not question it, just like you. See, when you leave a belief behind, it's not just a decision in your head. Your whole nervous system goes into withdrawal. My body craved the feeling, those old prayers. I can even say stuff now and say something, stump my toe or do something. It just happens naturally. Those old prayers, the guilt, the habit, they keep showing up even when you no longer believe in it. It's like my body was still trying to go along with the program, even though my soul was already saying, no more. I'm all cried out, Ty. So again, I ask, how much is too much, Ty? How much will you hide? That's why speaking it out loud felt so dangerous to me, because for so long, belonging was my survival. And rejection felt like death to me. So the silence wasn't just hesitation, it was my biology fighting me. My fear circuits were lighting up, my old identity begging me not to let go. Don't let go, Ty. This is what feels good. This has not been easy for me. Matter of fact, it's been hard as hell. Family, you can leave the church, you can leave the system, but the system doesn't leave you overnight. I still, right now, today, catch myself doing shit out of habit. But when I started stepping out, I started losing relationships. At the same time, people stopped talking to me. And not random people. I'm talking about Christian people that would say, love thy neighbor. Family Christian people at that, to add to it. The same people who would preach, love them anyway. Were those same people were calling people the devil. They say, come from amongst them. If that's love, family, I don't want it. I don't need it. Keep it to yourself. But make it make sense, because it don't. And you're not supposed to be doing it. Imagine what it's like for someone who's truly loved family, not just attending events, loving, giving, showing up. Now imagine the withdrawal when that same love turns it back. You call, they don't call back. You text, they leave you on red. They come in the room, don't even speak. You walk in and the room shifts. You hear them, you hear your name mid-sentence, and they all of a sudden they hush. Faces drop, conversations change, like you can't feel it or you didn't hear it. And it didn't feel like a simple punishment. It felt like withdrawal. It felt like I was going through withdrawal from family, from identity, from the things that I carried around for years, and I had to grieve that. You're losing a whole ecosystem of belonging, and your body feels it. So whatever it is, it's just like putting down an addiction. Those experiences, those old songs and those church phrases loop like ghosts in my head. Your brain, my dollar, my stress circuits, they were trained for years to equate that belonging with safety. And it didn't mean that I was wrong. It meant I was healing. It meant that the old loop was losing its grip. My soul was moving back to center. So even when you walk away, your body still has that muscle memory. Remember I said the body keeps the score. I ain't saying nothing different. You still feel the pull to clap when they clap, and shout when they shout. I'm using that as an example because I wasn't shouting. I wasn't faking that. I wasn't standing up when they would come out and say, stand up for the reading of the word. I wasn't doing it. I wasn't sticking around while they preach and they couldn't preach. I would get up and walk out. I went to go hear them sing. I don't want to hear none of that foolishness. But I did bow my head like everybody else when they say your prayer. I did that. I did it. That's not just habit, it's wiring. How does that happen, Ty? I got you. So Ruth showed me this video a couple of weeks ago, maybe a week or so ago, and it hit me like a brick. Why these things are happening? And I've been having so many occurrences that led to this moment and experiences that reinforce what I seen. And I like to cite my sources. So Dr. Simmatawi, thank you for putting me on. But I want to share this video, and I hope that we'll be able to hear it. I'm going to show it to y'all. And I'm trying to improvise here because I want you guys to see this. So this video that I'm about to share with you guys is about conformity, why we do the things we do. And I'm going to show you a video that kind of gives an idea to help us understand on a deeper level. And it's a perfect picture of what I'm talking about. And I'm going to play it for you in hopes that it'll come out loud enough.
That question.
Let me know if you can hear it.
Camera experiment to see if this one
Oh,
would
let me make it
stand
big.
up at the sound of this tone, simply because everyone else is. You might be thinking you never go along with this, or would you?
Let me know if you can hear it. If somebody's in there.
After just 3 weeks, and without knowing why she's doing it, this woman is now conforming perfectly to the group. What happens if we take the group away?
Elaine, please.
Now she's alone. The crowd is gone, and nobody is watching her except our hidden cameras. What do you think
Thank you, doctor.
is now conforming to the rules of the group without them even being there? Now, watch what happens when we introduce another outsider who doesn't know the rules.
Have a seat, and they'll be out in just a couple minutes. Thanks so much.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody was doing so like that. I was supposed to.
Think she'll teach the new guy what to do? We kept the cameras rolling as more unsuspecting patients arrived. And slowly but surely, what began as a random rule for this woman has now become the social norm for everyone in this waiting room. Here to explain what's going on in their brains is Jonah Berger of the University of Pennsylvania.
This sort of internalized form of herd behavior is part of what we call social learning. Starting at a very early age, when we see members of our group perform a task, our brains literally reward us for following in their footsteps.
When I saw everybody stand up, I felt like I needed to join them. Otherwise, I'm like excluded. Once I decided to go with it, then I felt much more comfortable.
Conformity is how we become socialized, but it can also cause us to develop bad habits or repeat past wrongs.
And it's why even this rebel, who wasn't standing for any of this nonsense, eventually joined the ranks. The only thing more shocking than seeing how easily conformity affects the way you act is that similar forces are subconsciously shaping the way you think right now.
There we have it. Let me turn this down. Let me get back in here. All right, we're going to get back on. But I showed you that video so we can get an idea of how it shows up in life, in real life. Ooh. Put my mic back on. And when I watch that video, all I can hear is, if you want to belong, do the same thing. So do as I do. I remember the elders used to tell us all the time, do as I say, not as I do. That saying doesn't just just fail with children, it fails with adults too. That was the significance of me showing you that video. Now I'm gonna figure out how to get this video, get my videos to play in my lives moving forward. But I did that and I want to make sure that I gave you that, because you don't have control over it. You mirror other people. That's not the way it go, Ty. Why? Why is that? And I realize, you know, that we don't oftentimes understand things. That was us in that picture. I realize that our churches, our families, our timelines, our teams, we stand up and down on cue. We shout when the row shouts. We clap when the preacher claps. We clap when the other people clap, or when they tell you to clap. Cemetery, you want to come in here with me? You know we like to shoot the shit. It just gives me the option to bring you in camera. I mean, you busy? And we don't even know why we're doing these things. So that clip that I played explains so much. This isn't just about a waiting room. It's about your life. How you were trained as a child, trained in church, trained in school, and how you're still being trained today. Because when you see it with your own eyes, you'll understand why taking the mask off feels like breaking a law you never agreed to. What you just saw is your nervous system at work. It's happening. Your brain has something called mirror neurons. Go and look it up. Mirror neurons are the cells that fire when you see others doing things. It coats. That's how babies learn. That's how adults mimic things. But unexamined, it becomes programming. There's a cost to effortless belonging. If you belong only when you behave, you're not really belonging. You're bargaining. You're trading authenticity for approval. Why does it feel so natural, Ty? Those nervous systems is wired with mirror neurons. The part of the brain that imitates what it sees. Monkey see, monkey do. That's what they gave us and kept the meaning from us. That's how a baby learns. That's why when someone yarns, you yarn. And they don't sitting up here telling us it's contagious. No, it's mirroring. But it's also how a child learns in his house. We don't cry, or in the church we shout when they say when the music plays. Coping feels like survival, and that's belonging, is safety. And what starts as safety turns into programming. And if you never challenge the program, the mask becomes your identity. Conformity feels holy when the crowd does it in church, but holiness without honesty is just going along to get along. You're a copycat. And listen, scripture doesn't call you to be a copycat. It calls you to transform. Romans says it plain. It says, don't conform to the patterns of the world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. It warns you about those borrowed behavior, those borrowed traditions and appearances. It warns you about don't do what everybody else is doing. Like Ruth said, it warns you that that's why the ways of righteousness is narrow, and the ways of damnation is broad, because it's telling you that's not the right direction where all these people and all the masses are. Don't borrow their behaviors. Have your own authenticity. If it's not you, You're copying and you're wearing a mask. Some of us probably don't even know who we are at the core. I can tell you that because I'm telling you, I was so lost. I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what I want to be. I have no idea if I'm coming or going because I pretended for so long. So I don't see how we're conforming. We're in the church. We're saved. We're different from the world. Okay, let's test that theory. Ain't gonna be too much longer. Let's test that theory because Paul says the pattern of this world. He isn't just talking about the people out there in the clubs drinking and fornicating. He's talking about the system of thinking. And if we're honest, the church has picked up a lot of these same patterns of the world. Now I know what y'all thinking. We don't adopt those patterns, Ty. But hold on, we testing the theory, right? Let's do it. I'm talking about how we dress, or I'm not talking about how y'all be dressing and how the kinds of music y'all play. I'm not just talking about that, even though you still following them, because now y'all saying come as you are and you want to wear what the outside world wearing. Although let's be real, half of the songs that y'all sing in the church sound like R&B remixes with Jesus' name added in it. A lot of them are. No, I'm not just talking about that. I'm also talking about something deeper. The church has started to think like the world. Instead of helping people truly change on the inside, it's becoming more about looking good on the outside. We've turned worship into performance and ministry into management, basically a business. The church is now a business. We've made church feel like a company. Counting people instead of caring for people's hearts and caring for the situations. We talk about freedom, but expect everyone to act and think the same. We say it's about faith, but sometimes it feels more like you're selling an image. And from a psychological view, why do people wear masks to begin with, Ty? Why is this a thing? So I asked, how early again do we start pretending? You remember they said, give us your children, they say. That's when you first learned that you weren't what you were being and how you were acting and what you were doing wasn't good enough. One of my mentors called it the shadow. The hidden parts of yourself that you pushed down and pushed away. The anger, the fear, the shame, the truth. But the longer you hide it, the louder it grows. And the culture teaches us to polish it up. Polish this mask up. Polish this outside. Shine your car real good. Even if it don't run good, don't let them know that. Now I understand why. That's why Jesus said, become like little children. I understand it now. Because children don't fake it. They come here without all of those bruises and scars. I know y'all say everybody born into sin. These children, they are the exemplification of what faith looked like at the core. It isn't about pretending to be holy. It's about becoming whole. The mask kept you alive, but it's never meant to keep you living. The soul doesn't want perfection. It wants wholeness. Now, perfection is possible. You know, Ty is not going to tell you perfection isn't possible. But what does it profit a man to gain the whole world? The followers, the image, the applause, and lose his soul, you ask, Ty. The masquerade. See, the world is the mask. The persona you use to survive. The soul is your true self, the part of you God actually made. And when you identify more with the mask than your essence, you become successful on the outside and empty on the inside. They got a song, sing me like that. I think it said clean on the inside, clean on the outside. But you clean on the outside, dirty on the inside, and you look like what you've been through. You can't put that thing on the road. You can only drive it around town. Because if you put it on the road and drive long distance, it's going to break down on you. That's what it looks like. So the task before you isn't to impress the world with the mask, it's to confront yourself. Honestly, painfully, courageously. Because when you take the mask off, that's when the transformation begins. That's when you can stop surviving and start living, because the masquerade isn't a party, it's a prison. And the longer you wear the mask, the further you drift from your healing. And God don't bless no mess. And I ain't talking about no Scott Daddy, but I'm just saying, God don't bless no mess. So you're pretending to want it. It won't do. It's not good enough. He can only heal what you're brave enough to reveal. So tonight, take it off. The real you is waiting to breathe again. And it's horrible to breathe in those masks. Y'all was around when COVID was there and you only had it here. And you just couldn't wait. You know how you had that mask on all day. You just couldn't wait till to get in the house so you could take it off. You know how it was causing so much acne for you to have it on? It's the same shit. So I try to get it done for 2 hours, but that's going to be it for me. So we've been hiding for long enough. I was hiding for long enough. I performed long enough. I've carried the image, the mask, the version of myself that pleased everyone but healed no one, not even me. And I'm going to say it for you, because I want you to put yourself in this. You've hidden for long enough. You performed long enough. You carried the image, the mask, the version of yourself that pleased everyone but healed no one, but not even you. The healing, the transformation, the being born again doesn't happen in hiding. Freedom doesn't come through pretending. Transformation begins when truth walks in, when righteousness shows up. That's how God knows you righteous. So it's not all about being perfect at first. It's about being present. Not always will you be impressive, but you'll be honest. So don't just go to church, become the church. That's what it's supposed to be. Don't just sing about the truth, live it. This is why I love Dr. Sibatawi when he said, how does it show up in your life? And when I ask myself that question, I'd be like, it ain't showing up the way that thing ain't showing the way it needs to show. Don't just wear his name, embody the nature. If you're going to live by it, live by it. Because if you live by it, you can eat. But I already told you, it says if you sinning, it ain't you all fall short. It's sinning is he know you not. That's scripture. I want to show y'all that. Hold on, I'm gonna show y'all that before I go. And in the generations obsessed with the image, being real is sacred. The day of stop pretending is the day you start becoming. And maybe the real miracle, not just God changing your situation, but you getting the courage to finally show up as you. Because everything starts with you. Let me find that scripture real quick. I'm gonna find that scripture real quick before I get out of here, because I want to make sure that y'all know. Real quick before we get out of here, I'm going to show y'all and share this to you. Share this with you. I'm sorry. Let me get my thing back on the screen. We're going to get out of here in a minute, family. I know I kept y'all longer than 2, but I've been away for a couple weeks, a week or 2, and I, had a lot to say tonight. Somebody gotta be on top. Waiting to share my screen so I can pull it up for you. Did not share? There you go. It's a delay. I wonder if it's a delay when I talk. Share this with y'all before y'all get out of here, because I know I'm starting to call y'all non-believers now. To make it big for you, so you can screen it. You can capture it. You can take it to your pastor and ask Pastor, can you explain this to me so I can get a better understanding? Or prophet, can you explain it to? Actually, I wouldn't even take it to them, because they prophesying in God's name. Ty telling you what God said tonight. So on your screen, it's big, yes. So it says, whosoever abideth in him sinneth not. Hold on. Let me put this up, and I'm going to take my time and read this. Whosoever abideth in him sinneth not. Whosoever sinneth hath not seen him, neither known him. Little children. You remember we talked about how the children, they want you to go, that's how you need to be. Little children, let no man deceive you. He that doeth righteousness is righteous, even as he is righteous. Come on, Ty, they talking about you. He that committed sin is of the devil. So we just throw that in the trash when y'all say, I can sin and I fall short. He gonna forgive me. You are of the devil, my friend. That's what it say on your screen, right? For the devil sinned from the beginning. For this purpose, the Son of God was manifest, that he might destroy the works of the devil. Keep going, Ty. Make sure it pop up on your screen before I read it. And I'm waiting, because we're going to go to 9. Come on. Catch up with me. I'm going to start reading, and it should catch up here in a minute. So it says, whosoever is born of God doeth not commit sin. Whosoever is born of God doth not commit sin, for his seed remaineth in him, and he cannot sin, because he is born of God. Is that what it say? Let's read that one more time. Whosoever is born of God doth not commit sin, for his seed remaineth in him, and he cannot sin, because he is born of God. In this, the children of God are manifest, and the children of the devil. Whosoever doeth not righteousness is not of God, neither he that loveth not his brother. So, just want to give y'all that really quick. I'm going to leave that on the screen for a little bit, so that we know that when you're telling people to come from amongst them, and when you're telling folks that they shouldn't be mingling with their brother and sister, he gonna say, I know you not. God told me to tell y'all to be aware of these wolves in sheep clothing. So that's gonna be it for me, family. Screenshot it, take it to Bible study so they can debunk this with verified information. You asked me for the book, so I'm sharing these books with you. I'm giving them to you. Let's see what you can do with them. So I'm going to be getting out of here, family. I'm going to say happy Surrender Sunday, because surrender captured letting go of the mask and opening up to transformation. Hotep.